Welcome back to the All-Mountain Extremes. This is what it looked like earlier this week as a blizzard delayed the beginning of the contest. The weather finally began to clear on Wednesday, but the ski patrol has had their hands full.
In fact, the finals were originally scheduled for the steep cliffs of Squaw Valley's Tram Bowl, but instead the avalanche danger has forced us to move the contest to Granite Chief Peak.
The ski patrol is still blasting for avalanches, Kim, so let's take this opportunity to review the snowboarding competition so far.
The first morning of the competition dawned beautiful on KT-22 and its ominous Fingers Run. But things quickly got ugly for the men snowboarders in these enormous knuckles of rock. Using a hybrid style of snowboarding with ski poles, Andrew Botcher ripped a big line down the center of the fingers. So did South Tahoe's Dan Hunt, but not big enough as he caught the bottom of his board on hidden rocks. He came up turning and saved himself some precious points for the judges. Big Shawn Farmer skipped turns altogether, accelerating towards 40 miles an hour and collecting high aggression scores. Day 2 moved to the slot with its huge cornice line of possibilities. Montana's Jake Stewart laid down the gauntlet with a big backflip over an exposed cliff line. Botcher held his own on the lower rocks of Classic Shoe. But again, Shawn Farmer upped the ante with a 40-footer off the top, carrying so much speed down the midsection of the course that he almost blew right through the boundary lines. But Farmer recovered well on the course's lower section. Feeling the pressure to stay with Farmer, Dan Hunt also uncorked an enormous air off the cornice, bouncing off his rear into an incredible spinning recovery, putting him into second place behind Shawn Farmer going into today's final 2 runs, Andrew Botcher and Jake Stewart nipping at their heels. For the women, World Extreme Snowboard Champion Morgan LaFonte was the obvious favorite. However, local Missy Collins was hoping to make the best of her home court advantage. The pressure of being in her first extreme contest threw some tumbles into Collins' otherwise strong performance. LaFonte, on the other hand, looked masterful, using the terrain to showcase her confident style, although a few mistakes kept the competition close. Susan Hellman's aggressive attack caught the attention of the judges and propelled her into 3rd place, only 4 points behind LaFonte.
We're back, and the women's snowboarders at the top of Granite Chief Peak, with LaFonte first out of the blocks.
Right.
Chaco, I've been in this position before, and it's difficult going into the final day in first place because you're worried about making mistakes, and the competitors behind you have nothing to lose.
Well, LaFonte's on course.
Setting up for a little cornice drop. Nice air, skitches a little bit sideways to control her speed, but now dropping into some real nice, beautiful turns.
Looks like she's erring a little on the conservative side on this run, wouldn't you say, Kim?
Yeah, she is being conservative, but you know, she's in first place. She wants to show the judges that she has good, solid technique and get that first run under her belt. I think that that's a nice run, first run of the morning.
Well, she certainly was in great control, and it'll be interesting to see how the judges score this run, if they can keep her up there at the top.
Not a particularly high score, but a good, solid run. Now she can sit back and watch the other women and decide if she needs to hang it all out in the final run to win this contest.
Well, here comes Missy Collins.
Looks like Missy's going for a more difficult entry. Pops off that rock, nice jump, controlling her speed, and wow, drops into some high-speed turns in the bottom.
She's ripping this lower bowl, Kim. Let's get back up and take another look at her jump.
From this angle, you can appreciate the steepness of Granite Chief Peak and Missy just clearing that wind ridge. She should score high on aggressiveness and line.
Oh, Collins outpoints LaFonte by 0.6. Next on track is Susan Hellman. She also has a shot at this thing. Looks like she's setting up over the cliff on the far side of the bowl.
She's going sideways right now, which means she's probably going to go for a big, nice air and a beautiful landing. Oh, but runs into trouble at the bottom and goes down.
Oh, and down again. That's a shame.
She puts her hands up in the air. She realizes she's made a big mistake.
Let's take a look at this in slow-mo.
Right here you can see she goes right straight off the rocks, carrying a ton of speed, but lands quite balanced. It's not until she makes this backside turn that she runs into trouble. The board sketches out on her and she gets caught in some heavier snow and starts tumbling. She's taking a big chance, Chaco. She knew she was behind. She had to catch the other girls. That's what competition's all about.
31.8. That's going to drop Susan off the pace, unfortunately.
Actually, Chaco, I think that score is quite generous. She had a lot of problems there. 31.8 is a good score.
And here are our snowboard women's standings. LaFonte is still in front, but Collins has tightened this race. The men's snowboarders are next, and Jake Stewart's already on course. He's just standing there, Kim. What's going on?
It looks like he's not sure of his takeoff point. You can see here he's hiking back up to get a better point of takeoff. It's crucial in these extreme conditions to thoroughly check out your line and your landing.
Well, here he goes.
Big, beautiful backflip and nice landing.
That was beautiful. Let's go take another look at that in slow-mo.
You can see here now, big lift, arches back, points his landing, boom, lands it beautifully. Really, really nice job for Jake.
Oh, Stewart is setting a very high standard here. That's a 42.6. That's a very high score. Here's another competitor who needs a big run, our boarder with poles, Andrew Botcher.
Andrew's setting up a little jump there, using his hands, though. I don't think the judges are going to like seeing him drag his hands around. Another nice air. Has problems controlling his speed and the landing's taking a really bad tumble in that avalanche debris. Looks like he's a little frustrated, Chaco.
Well, that's too bad because that jump did look nice and it was a pretty little line.
This bowl is really getting baked by the sun, and as the day goes on, it's going to get to be more and more difficult conditions. Looks like he's not really using those poles down here. May have just cost him some trouble there, though. You can see his track from behind, Chaco. His pole dug in, dragged him right in. And you can really see here, Chaco, how thick and heavy that snow is. He must be frustrated.
Here's the scores. Oh, very, very low in control and fluidity. Unfortunately, that looks like it's going to take him out of the contest. But here's a guy who has a chance, Daniel Hunt. He's on course.
Traversing across the top, pops off that little cornice. Daniel's just playing with the terrain before his run's even started. I'd love to see that.
He's over on top of the buttress rock.
Looks like he's setting up for a little bit of air, or quite a bit of air, and very nicely done. Clean landing, and look at some big, beautiful high-speed turns through the bottom bowl.
Boy, he looks solid on his board, Kim.
He sure does, Chaco. That was a beautiful run by Daniel Hunt.
That should put him right up in the running here and really light the fire under Shawn Farmer. Oh, it's a very high score there, 41. Looks very good. And here comes Shawn Farmer on course now. We got to see what he's up to.
Farmer's known for his wild antics, and that was huge.
That was beautiful. Boy, he was like good 3-4 feet down the slope from where Stewart landed his flip.
Big victory signs over the head. Shawn Farmer is really proud.
Here's the slow-mo, Kim.
Look at how much air he catches. He just flies across that. Now, he does have an advantage because Jake Stewart has already done this, so he knows that the landing is clean. It's a good jump, but he lets it all hang out. Look at how fast he's going, riding his tail. That's what keeps him from taking a big tumble after the high-speed jumps.
That was a pretty looking little wheelie there. Here comes Farmer down to the judges. Shawn, first place Farmer, as he calls himself, and sure enough, very high scores. Oh boy, that is going to put him way out in front of the field. Let's take a look and see how the snowboard men are so far. Farmer's extended his lead to over 6.5 points. Our man Rob Delorier has him at the finish.
Shawn Farmer holding down first place. Well-deserved sick backflip off that cornice, man. How was that?
It was pretty smooth, you know. Had a little problem finding the in-run coming in, but once I locked onto the track there, I knew I had it. It was like the smoothest jump ever. It was nice.
It's wild. So when you're behind that cornice, you actually can't even see where you're going?
Not too much. Mostly you see the cornice line, you know, and you try and figure out where it's at, and hopefully you're hitting the right spot, you know.
And land on your board, not your head?
Yeah, exactly. Get it around at all costs.
Dude, you look totally stoked coming down, hands over your head, just ripping those arc and turns. That looks hot.
Right on, man. Thanks. I had a blast. It was fun.
All right, we'll do it again, man. Have a good one.
Okay, I got to head back up.
Things are heating up here at Squaw Valley. The extreme skiers are next, so don't go away.